Hey guys, I'm in my car today. I got a little bit of time to kill, so I figured I'd just jump up here and discuss a couple things that are going around in the world of MMA. One of the biggest stories going on right now is Demetrius Johnson being so unhappy with the UFC. He's talking about Dana White, what Dana White said to him. I know Dana White was on the Unfiltered podcast where he basically said that Demetrius Johnson would have no choice but to fight TJ Dillashaw after Cody Garbrandt is hurt. He said TJ wants that fight. That's the fight that TJ wants. And that made Demetrius Johnson super mad. He was on the MMA Hour on Monday talking about how Dana White came out and said this is what TJ wants. He said, well, hello, what about what I want? I'm the champion of this division. TJ is a bantamweight coming down to 125 to face me because his opponent got hurt. Oh, boo-hoo, like, that doesn't happen to people, that opponents don't get hurt and you just get to flop around to wherever you want. I agree with Demetrius Johnson on this, but also on the flip side, there's not too many exciting fights to make at 125 for Demetrius Johnson. He said he wanted to fight Ray Borg. I don't see many people being interested in that. People are interested in the TJ fight. Right now, Demetrius Johnson is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the whole world. And he has never received pay-per-view points. He's never headlined a pay-per-view. He's headlined some Fox cards, some FS1 cards. But, I mean, his division is very weak. It's probably the weakest division in the whole UFC. So, there's not another flyweight on the whole pound-for-pound list. Demetrius Johnson is #1. TJ Dillashaw is actually number 13 on the pound-for-pound list. So, he's not fighting for the bantamweight title. He wants to come down and fight for the flyweight title. Pretty good points about it. Can he make 125? He says he can. He was on UFC Tonight last night talking about how he's already changing his body composition. He's already cutting weight to make 125. He has no problem making that weight. But he also said if he's not going to fight for the 125 title, it's going to take him more time to put that weight back on to fight for the 135 title. Cody Garbrandt should be back ready to fight by the end of the summer, maybe September. And if Demetrius Johnson doesn't fight TJ Dillashaw in August, then how long is it going to take TJ to put that weight back on? That could push that fight back even further. And I know that November comes quickly and that there's another fight in New York. And I know that GSP should be back by then. Might be able to see like a couple more. Maybe the winner of Daniel Cormier versus John Jones, the winner of that fight, may be taking on the next opponent by November. So they really need Demetrius Johnson to fight at the end of the summer, beginning of the fall. So if he's not fighting TJ Dillashaw, they should just go ahead, make a decision one way or the other. Demetrius Johnson's fighting Ray Borg, August in Seattle, fine, do it. TJ Dillashaw is waiting for Cody Garbrandt in September, beginning of October, fine, do it. They need to come up with a decision one way or the other. And the fact that Demetrius Johnson is not getting what he's being asked for. He's not getting the money he's being asked for. He should be getting paid. He is the #1 fighter in the world. He's unbelievable. John Jones was the #1 fighter for how long? He got whatever he wanted. It was ridiculous. UFC 208 in New York last year, horrible card. I have to say, probably one of the worst cards in UFC history. But the headline of that card was Holly Holm, who was on a 2-fight losing streak, versus Jermaine Durandamy, who now we know she's kind of a flake. But they were headlining a card in New York City, in Brooklyn. And Demetrius Johnson can't even get a pay-per-view anywhere. Las Vegas, nothing. It's ridiculous. They're really not treating him right. Even Daniel Cormier said, pay the man. I agree. Pay the man. Give him whatever fight he wants. This fight could draw. He's breaking the record of Anderson Silva, one of the greatest of all time. This fight will draw if he's fighting Ray Borg or he's fighting Sergio Pettis or anybody. I would say let TJ wait for Cody. They already had this whole Ultimate Fighter the season and the drama and all that. Let him wait. It's not going to be that much longer. It's 2 extra months maybe. So that's what I'm going to say about that. UFC 212, that just happened last weekend. Max Holloway defeated Jose Aldo. Max Holloway jumped back up to #5 pound for pound in the world. Jose Aldo dropped to number 10 pound for pound in the world. Jose Aldo is not the Jose Aldo of old. Everyone's saying, oh, he's not the greatest. His legacy is, I guess, up for debate. He was the greatest in that division for a really long time, and it's nothing to take away from him. He's still number 10 in the world. He's above champions right now, like Michael Bisping. It's kind of like the same thing you saw with Ronda. She got defeated and she didn't come back the same. He got knocked out that 13 seconds by Conor McGregor and he didn't come back the same. Nothing against him. I still think he's great. I still think he's able to compete and he's going to still win in the UFC. I don't think he's like retired or anything. But Max Holloway really showed himself there. And of course, what's the first thing he's doing? He's campaigning for Conor McGregor. Shocker. Guess what? Stay in your own division, defend the title. Everybody is ready to jump around, do whatever they gotta do. I wish they'd go back to the old ways. Everybody, you win the title in your division, you work your way up in your division. I mean, I think the rankings need to stand for more than they do now. But you make your way up in your division, and then you defend your title. Don't worry about who's doing what in the next division over. You worry about what you're doing in your division. You're the champion in that one. Let's see. This weekend, UFC is going to Auckland, and we got Derek Lewis versus Mark Hunt, heavyweight bout. Derek Lewis is on a tear. He's won 6 in a row. This guy needs a title shot soon. I think with a win over Mark Hunt, he will definitely be getting his chance at Stipe Miocic. He's won 6 in a row. Mark Hunt, not what he once was. I see Derek Lewis winning this one, no problem. Mark Hunt seems to be more concerned with the politics going into his fight than actually winning the fights. And then right after that, you got Singapore, which is Holly Holm again headlining an event versus Bethe Correia. Not too interested in that fight. I mean, Holly needs a win, that's for sure. And the UFC, I'm sure, wants her to win because she's very marketable. Going back to the Demetrius Johnson thing, they not marketing him enough. They're marketing Holly Holm crazy, and she's lost 3 in a row. So, I mean, I guess there's things people say about the UFC. They have their favorite fighters. Of course, that's true. Paige Van Zandt, Stacey Northcutt, Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor, Holly Holm. If you're pretty, you sell better. It's just the way that the world works, and they need to figure out a way to market these good fighters, the champions, better. It's not just up to the fighter alone to market themselves. The UFC needs to do a better job. I don't know if this is the way the UFC plans on going in the future, it's becoming more of a spectacle and more of like a drama show than actual fights, which, I mean, I guess you have to sell, but when you lose the integrity of the actual fighting and getting to know the fighters, like I like when they do the like Road to the Octagon or whatever it is, you get to see like behind the scenes where the fighters are like training and everything, and then you get like UFC embedded on YouTube where it's like insanity, like people being crazy and like who do you like better, who gets featured more. It's just who's better with the fans, who's got more fan base. So that's all. Also Cyborg could be fighting now Megan Anderson. That's Ariel Helwani said that. I don't know if that's for sure. Megan Anderson has a fight scheduled in Invicta, but he said the UFC is still interested in making that fight for July 29th, I believe it is, in Anaheim. So we'll see what happens with that. Apparently Kat Zingano is not going to be ready. I wrote an article about that. You can check it out. I'll put the link in the bio. So if you like what you hear, please share. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If there's anything you want me to talk about next time, hit me up in the comments or hit me up on Twitter at NickBoss, NIKBOS. I could probably use a co-host next time. So if you're interested in that, if you want to do something through Skype, hit me up with that also. Look forward to hearing you guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.